Are you curious why so many people are choosing Spokane, Washington as their new home? In this video, we'll explore top 5 reasons that are driving this trend and find out if it's the next place for you to call home too. Welcome back to Living in Spokane, Washington. If you're new here, my name's Hunter McKay, and I'm your local real estate broker. With over 10 years of industry experience, I'm here to share all of my insights about what makes Spokane such a wonderful place to live. Let's dive into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is Spokane's affordable cost of living. And for a lot of locals who are watching this video, they might scoff, but take a look around at all of the other major metropolitan areas that are of our size or larger, and you'll find out that despite rising costs across the nation, we are still an affordable place to live. One of the major things that we talk about here is buying a house. And so, of course, the house prices in Spokane, well, they're below the state average. Yes, you can still find plenty of cheaper houses in rural parts of Washington, but if you want a city the size of Spokane, it's amazing how much more expensive things can become. If you compare a standard 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in Spokane to its like-kind cousin in somewhere like Boise, Idaho, or even as far as Portland, Oregon, you're going to find that we are between 15 to 25% less expensive. The national rents are another thing that we want to compare to. If we look at the state average, as according to Zillow, it states a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom is closer to $1,200 or $1,300. I'm not sure that that's true anymore. I think that we're probably more in the $1,800 to $2,000 range. But when you compare those rents to other big cities, you're still going to find that it's a little bit cheaper to live here in Spokane. And our food costs on average are also a little bit reduced compared to some of the big city comparisons. While costs are lower here in general than they are in other cities across Washington and parts of Idaho, I will say that costs have crept up dramatically. I've had friends in recent years that have seen their rents where they've had rents at $800 to $1,200 for a 2-bedroom raised dramatically into the $1,500 to $1,800 range. And a lot of this is driven because external migration into Spokane is happening. That means that people from bigger cities are coming to Spokane and either retiring or worse, they're bringing their jobs from other states because they're work from home. We have seen the migration into Spokane from the work from home crowd decrease as COVID has come to an end, but I think that there are still lots of companies that are willing to shell out for work from home people when the fit is right. And if you're one of those, Spokane can be a really great place to maximize how far that money can go. In addition to the cost of living, the next biggest thing that I hear people talk about is the abundant outdoor recreation. It almost doesn't matter what part of Spokane you live in. There is nature within 5 minutes of your front door. I live in the most downtown setting there is. I'm in Kendall Yards. It's not true downtown. I could be, I suppose, on First Street in a condo. But ultimately, Kendall Yards is a walkable, extremely urban section of Spokane, and it is 5 minutes to the downtown core. I am also 5 minutes walk from the river, and I can immediately forget that I am anywhere near the city. I can walk along the river and enjoy the trees and just sit and breathe in the nature. I also have friends that live 45 minutes north of me because they don't want to live in town. They want to feel nature all around them on their 20-acre parcel. And even from there, they're 20 minutes to 3 different lakes if they want to be. They can go fishing during the summer. They're 30 minutes from 49 degrees north or Mount Spokane, and they're 2 hours from Schweitzer. 3 giant mountains that allow so much opportunity for skiing and snowboarding. So it almost doesn't matter what you want to do here in Spokane, as long as it's included nature, you're going to have a great time, and it doesn't matter where you live or what neighborhood you pick, you're going to be 5 to 10 minutes from everything that you love outdoors. The third thing that I want to talk about is Spokane's vibrant downtown and overall its cultural scene. What do I mean by that? You would think that a city the size of Spokane doesn't really have a lot going on. We are usually the second cousin to a place like Seattle, and so I hear a lot of people saying, well, but Spokane is so small. No, it's not. It has grown tremendously over the last few years, and more than that, it has always serviced some really incredibly amazing events. One of the big events that is my favorite is Bloomsday. It just happened, and it's a 7-mile run that brings international competitors from all over the globe. It's an amazing run through the city and up a massive hill that we call Doomsday Hill. And at the completion of it, you run through the downtown park. It's a really fun event. I was unprepared for it this year and actually got trapped inside my neighborhood because they will shut down the streets for this event. It is so important that you have time to come to this event because the city takes it very seriously and they put a lot of money into it. And that's one of the things that I can always count on in Spokane is every year there are going to be a few amazing events that we can count on to bring amazing activity to the city, new growth, and is really helpful for businesses. Plus, they're a lot of fun for the locals. Beyond Bloomsday, we have a 3-on-3 basketball competition called Hoop Fest that happens in the summer. And then there's also Terrain, which is a arts festival that focuses more on music and local artists who can contribute different works of art in all different mediums, and it happens in Brown's Edition. So there's a little bit of something for everyone, and these are just the biggest events that bring international attraction. There are miniature and smaller community events all throughout the downtown sector, throughout all seasons of the year. The fourth thing that I want to talk about in Spokane, and one of the things that I really like, you can still get almost anywhere in 30 minutes or less. When I first moved to the city, I did not realize how easy it was going to be to get around or how big an area I was really covering. When I lived in Seattle, it was amazing. I could go 6 miles and it would take me 45 minutes to an hour. In Spokane, an hour will get me out of Spokane and into Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So there's no comparison for traffic to larger metropolitan areas. Spokane really has a rush hour, and it happens in the morning between 7:30 and 8:30, and it happens at the end of the day between 4:30 and 5:30. And honestly, as you become a local, you just learn to avoid the traffic. If you do have to be out during those peak hours, you find out that there's almost always a second way to get around the traffic, and there's just a couple of key choke points that you want to avoid. Sorry, Division, there's almost no reason to ever go on you. It's a really easy town to get around in, and it makes it really accessible as long as you have a car. I will say it's not a very public transportation friendly city. It seems like, to me at least, you would be doing a lot of walking in order to navigate all of the places where buses do not go. If you live in the center of town, then the bus system is pretty strong as long as you're staying in the downtown core. But a lot of people like to live in the more suburban areas, and it's just not a super convenient time to not have a car if you're going to be living in those zones. The last thing I want to talk about is how Spokane is kind of a big college town that people stay in. What I mean by that is we have 5 major colleges around Spokane that kind of circle it within a 45-minute radius, and a couple of smaller vocational schools and religious colleges that are here locally as well. They all have a really great reputation. One of the biggest ones that most people have heard of is Gonzaga. It's an amazing law school and is also home to the Zags basketball team, which is basically a religion here in Spokane. I was not prepared. I love basketball, but if you're moving to Spokane, just know you have to abandon all faith to any other college basketball team. You are officially a Zags fan. And don't worry, the games are fun, and they tend to win up until the Sweet 16, where we almost always choke. It's kind of a problem. Not only does Spokane bring a lot of people in from out of the area because of these colleges, but there's also a huge medical community here. Kaiser Permanente, originally when they moved into the area, bought up over 15 different medical offices and bound them all into one medical group, and have only continued growing since then. Spokane is a huge city all on its own, but it's also one of the major medical communities that services a lot of the smaller rural towns for up to 150 miles outside of the Spokane area. The next largest hospital group besides us is in Seattle, and that can be a huge distance and a huge cost for a lot of the people in the in the greater Spokane community. So a lot of job opportunities for nurses, doctors, medical technicians, and any of the other industry professionals that come along with that sector. We have seen that grow the most dramatically in the last 5 to 10 years. Beyond that, Amazon has built not 1 but 2 fulfillment departments here in Spokane, and that has driven a huge number of higher paying jobs, both for the industry itself and for the specific Amazon offices that have grown here locally. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'd love to hear from the locals and people moving in from Spokane. What do you really like about Spokane? What did we miss? Please leave a comment and drop it down below. See you next time.